Hi, it's Deborah Atkinson, and I'm going to share with you 3 of the biggest mistakes really recently that are coming up over and over again for some of my subscribers, readers who are writing in with questions, and some of my clients are making these mistakes, and you might be too. So number 1 is the question comes up about how much protein do I really need? You know, I'm just a woman who's 55 or who's 58 and I don't want to be a bodybuilder. How much does a woman my age need? Or I've always thought that protein powders are just something that bodybuilders take and I've never used them myself. So do I need to be doing that? Those are 2 really common questions, and you might have them too. And I completely understand the association with protein powder and bodybuilding. It's true, that's who used to. Now, the reason we're looking at it is several things. We now know from research that started in about 2008 that very few of us are getting all the protein that we need. It's been a myth that Americans get way more protein than they need. Truly, females tend not to, and the majority of Americans are not getting even the RDAs. And RDAs by protein researchers that include a wide array of people, from clinical nutritionists to university and clinic nutritionists who are doing the research, from those who look at muscle protein synthesis in kinesiology and exercise foundations. From across the board, they're finding that the recommendation for RDAs was to prevent disease, not to thrive. So that said, it brings us to the point that we're not getting enough protein. And what we really need is about 25 to 35 grams of protein, depending on which meal we're talking about, more at breakfast, and then stable amounts, again, at lunch and at dinner. And that's easy for most people at lunch and dinner, but it's a challenge at breakfast when you consider an egg has 6 grams of protein. So protein powder comes in there. We all need adequate amount of protein, whether we're male or female, and whether we're active or inactive. And here's the truth, if you're inactive, you need it more, because active people synthesize protein better that they eat to go to the use in the repair, the rebuild of their muscle tissue. If you're inactive, you're not quite as good at it. So you could get better at it if you become more active. But if we give you a range of, say, meet this 25 to 35 grams of protein, or between 20 and 30, even if 25 feels like a reach right now, if you're inactive, you should probably try for closer to 30. If you're active, you can probably get by with 20 because you're using more of what you are taking in. That's the key point. So let's come back to protein powder. It's appropriate for most of us, as long as you're very clear on what's in that label. You want to avoid a lot of the artificial sweeteners and ingredients that are put in it. You want to be sure that you can pronounce every item, every ingredient, and that there are a few of them on the label, and you feel good about knowing exactly what's in there. So if it's got sugar in it, if it's got maltodextrin in it, if it's got soy in it, it may potentially be helping you store fat, not build more lean or keep the lean that you have. And that's the whole reason for taking it. So you don't be putting things and toxins into your body, for instance. But getting 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast is a challenge, both because of convenience of time. I don't have time to have breakfast. Have you ever said that? I have, and I know how important it is. So I'll do some preparation so that my breakfast can take me about 2 minutes, and I can be out the door holding it, maybe, but at least I've got it and got it in. If you skip breakfast, chances are you're decreasing your metabolism, which is not what you want, and in a lot of cases, not why a lot of women skip it. So you need protein no matter who you are, male or female, active or inactive, and you need to get it somehow. If you are comfortable eating more of a breakfast that is like lunch or dinner, you can easily get your protein in. But if you don't, if you've been a cereal eater, more of a carbohydrate consumer, it may be more difficult for you to reach that 25 to 30 gram range very easily. Protein powder makes it more simple and doable. And if you're getting it, you're getting good results, you're going to understand why. The second one is rest. Understanding the importance of rest. I work with very intelligent, articulate, and well-educated women who may be just like you, not realizing the benefit of exercise is only as good as the rest that you take between, because exercise is a breakdown activity. Whether you're talking about doing high-intensity interval training, long-endurance walking, or you're talking about weight training or anything in between, it breaks down the muscle by causing micro tears within the muscle tissue. that rebuilds and repairs between exercise. So if you exercise on Monday and then again on Tuesday, you don't get any time at all for repair and recovery. So you're tearing down and then tearing down again, and it makes it difficult to increase the lean tissue, boost your metabolism, and burn more fat. Now that's not to say you can lift weights on Monday. You could do an easy cardio workout on Tuesday and then do weights again on Wednesday. But you need that minimum of 48 hours between weight training. Otherwise, you're going to find you're breaking down over time and probably more at risk for injury and or finding I'm not getting any results. I'm not increasing my tone, I don't look better, I don't feel better, and you're probably not going to be changing your body composition, meaning decreasing your body fat, and that's what you want. In fact, rest is so important that for adults over 50, you can work just as hard as you did when you were young, provided you don't have a special condition that tells you don't. But we may need more rest between exercise in order for it to happen and to get better results. A lot of the clients that I start working with are disciplined, love exercise, but they're doing it so much that they're really this low level of tired all the time or achy and sore and think it's natural and that if they exercise, that's how they should feel. When we put a little more time between the high intensity exercise that they're doing, whether that's strength training or it's high intensity intervals, they notice that they get to exercise here, but lighter, in more recovery mode, and they feel better and look better and start getting better results because of it. So think about the importance of the rest between the exercise and don't do the frequency so often that you can't experience that kind of gain. The third thing is shopping. So I love this time of year as much as anybody, and shopping is my jam. However, I don't want you to go shopping for exercises. What we do as personal trainers, as wellness coaches, and strength and conditioning coaches is look at an athlete, and I'm talking about you. You are an athlete, and I look at what do you need. Do you have weak muscles in your glutes? Do you have too tight of hamstrings? Do you have weakness in your core? Do you have too much tension up here or on your right side compared to your left side? And from that, I would decide what exercises and what stretches and what sequence make the most sense for you. When you go shopping for even YouTube videos or you go shopping for exercises that you see, this looks like a fun exercise, the kettlebell exercise or the suspension exercise, and this looks like a fun thing to do. You don't know that that meets your needs, and you can get yourself into trouble by doing too much of the same thing, because here's what happens is we tend all to like things that we're good at. So you're going to like the exercises that you already are probably having strengths in, and the things that you're weak in are really some of those exercises that you need to be doing so you can benefit all the way around from all of them. Be careful about going shopping. What I noticed with some of my clients is I was trying to let them pick exercises, is they begin to pick many of the exercises for the same muscle groups instead of getting a well-round of working the front of the body, working the back of the body, working the chest muscles, for instance, and working the back muscles. If you're not getting that balance, pretty soon you're going to be lopsided, right? So we spend a lot of our day out here. So really, in counter to that, you may want to look at your exercise and say, I don't want to balance front and back of body because I'm getting so much of this tightness in front anyway. I'm going to do a lot more back of the body to balance, to give me better posture in my daily life. That may be one way of thinking about it. So consciously think about, what are my list of needs first before you go shopping? It's just like buying groceries. Don't go looking for trouble. And that was it. Those three things, if any of them apply to you, can make a huge difference in just turning the dial so you can see more results. Let me know if you have a question, and I'll see you on the flip side.